Welcome to Subramani. I've been meeting a few retired people with various ages from 60, 70 and 80. And certain common characteristics are, a 60-year-old and an 80-year-old have to think of retirement very differently, but I've noticed some things common. One, many people, immaterial of how much money they have, they are very, very scared to touch their capital, right? So if I say something like, keep your money in a debt fund, and after 3 years when you withdraw you will pay less tax, the first reaction is, but I would be withdrawing a part of the capital. This could worry a 60-year-old, but why should it worry a 75-year-old, right? So your attitude towards how to use your corpus should keep changing with age. So the 60-year-old and the 80-year-old don't have to think exactly the same way. So the 80-year-old need not worry at all about eating into his capital, especially if he has got capital which will last him till 120, right? What are you going to do with so much of capital? You don't need to leave anything behind. So there is no harm in consuming a part of your capital. And even for the 60-year-old, it makes sense to keep money in a debt fund and withdraw on a systematic withdrawal basis, SWP, rather than keep money in a bank fixed deposit and earn interest, because they think their capital gets protected that way, and that's the most efficient way. Now the problem with a bank deposit is you get X amount of interest whether you need it or no. So for calculation purposes, let us assume some simple numbers. You have got 1 crore in bank fixed deposit and the bank is paying you 10% interest, right? So you are getting 10 lakhs per year and your expenses are 5 lakhs. So you have to get the 10 lakhs, pay tax on it. Let's say 2 lakhs you pay tax on it, and out of the 8 lakhs that is left, you will spend 5 and you will have to reinvest 3. Now the same thing, you put 1 crore in a mutual fund. Let's say you put in an ultra short fund. Again, I'm assuming you get 10%. So you will get 10 lakhs, but you're in a growth option, right? So you will say, okay, my 1 crore has become 1 crore 10 lakhs and I am going to withdraw 40,000 rupees a month, right? So you will withdraw approximately 5 lakhs a year. You will pay tax on that 5 lakhs, which could be very close to zero with indexation, and it will be treated as capital gain. So you will be paying very little tax on that compared to what you're paying on your bank deposit. So one, learn to use a part of your capital for your day-to-day living, definitely past 60 and definitely past 80, right? You don't need to preserve your capital as an 80-year-old as much as you need to preserve as a 60-year-old. So first is shift to mutual fund versus bank. It is as liquid. Yeah, maybe you keep 3 lakhs in your savings bank account for an emergency. You need to withdraw with your ATM card. That's fine. But beyond that, your money should lie in ultra short bond fund, not even liquid fund, and let it earn some interest, and you can do a systematic withdrawal plan. Second, many people are afraid to spend. If you are of a particular age, you think, oh, I don't need this, you keep getting into that denial. Please understand, the amount that you leave may be very big in your head, but it is going to be very small by the time your children look at what you are leaving them. For example, somebody leaving 4 crores for their kid, is it a big amount? Yes, it looks like a big amount, but what if your son or daughter is in the US, earning in US dollar and having a lot more money than what you think they have? What if you don't have any clue how much they have? For example, I know one boy who had stock options worth $20 million. Let me repeat, $20 million, right? The parents had no clue how much money he had. So in one talk I said, why don't you fly them to US and don't fly them business class, fly them first class, right? So it's worth spending. How much was he was spending? About 7.5 lakhs per ticket. So 2 tickets, 15 lakhs. Look at the amount of money that he has, right? So don't have to leave money for your children. Ask them if they need. Ask them whether they need it now or later, because if you die at 95, your son or daughter could be 70, right? So 70 or 65, they may not need it then. If they need it now and you have a surplus, give it now. Please talk about money in the family. That is very important, which we completely miss out. So talk about it, see if they have more than what they themselves need. If they, then whatever you have, there is perfectly all right for you to spend down whatever you have. You may still leave some money, but instead of leaving 4 crores, you may leave them 2 crore 30 lakhs, right? But at least you would have enjoyed your 1.7 crore by spending on things which you may find it very convenient to use and luxurious to use. I mean, it could even be full-time servants who you think you don't need, right? So suddenly you'll have the luxury of somebody who is there at your beck and call, and you're creating jobs for them. And please leave more money for your employees rather than for your children. Your children don't need it. I'm not saying deprive them of it, but if you're going to leave 4 crores for your son, you might as well leave 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs for each of your servants, and then leave 3 crore 80 lakhs or 3 crore 30 lakhs for your son. It doesn't really matter, right? So that's the second thing. Communicate about money, start spending, start withdrawing from your capital. There is no harm, especially for people above 80. If you don't withdraw now, when will you withdraw? I don't know why people get scared withdrawing from capital, especially at older ages. Understand one more thing, that lot of literature is available, but literature is generic, right? You don't know whether it is applicable to you. So you can't take a generic law and say it is applicable to you. For example, a person with 2 very successful children earning much more than what this man is going to leave them will think of life very differently from a person whose children are not doing well, or somebody whose child is challenged and needs a lot of help. They have no clue from where they are going to get that help. So they are likely to be more conservative in their wealth, in their attitude towards wealth. That's also important for you to know. So then they may not be willing to spend, they may be living very frugally, they may be wondering what else to do. So they are very different. So since you are very different, since you are unique, don't think that solutions are available on the cutter solutions are not available. You will have to design it yourself. If you don't know, seek the help of your children, seek the help of advisors, and make sure that you have a plan, because after 70 or 80 you have very little time to make amends if things go wrong. So don't allow things to go wrong. Coordinate it yourself. Get a consultant. Get your children involved. Let everybody know what you're doing, right? Also understand that risk is not only with particular age. If you are in very good health and you're 85 years of age, maybe you don't have to worry about inflation also. Maybe you live another 5 years, but you will live well. Yes, last 6 months, 8 months can cost you 2 lakhs a month, and so, but you have enough money for all that. Then understand that risk for you is very different from risk for your 60-year-old son, right? For him or her, the risk can be very different because of age, because of their composition of assets, because they may have handicapped children, challenged children. You never know. I mean, I wouldn't know. So each circumstances are very different. So don't look for solutions on Google and say, this is applicable to me. May not be applicable to you. Be careful. Thank you.